All right, my friends, today we're going to learn how to make scratchboard. You want to start by coloring your paper with pastel hard. You don't want to make light, dinky marks. You really want to get a good layer of pastel. I'm starting by just choosing one color and making little patches in that color. Whenever I'm ready, I can switch colors. You want to make sure that you don't layer colors that won't look nice with each other. So blue and orange don't look good mixed together. They look good next to each other, but not mixed. So I'm trying to stay off of the other colors, instead just going precisely, exactly right next to the colors. Getting every white spot you see. We're going to be painting on top of this. So we're going to be layering different media. And if you have white paper, the paint will stick to that. If you have a good layer of pastel, you will be able to scrape the paint away to reveal the pastel. So I'm just searching out for white spots and covering them. When you think you're done, ask a neighbor if they agree. Sometimes a fresh set of eyes really notice things that you can't. So I'm looking for anything that I see that's white. Pressing hard. The thicker this is on, the easier my job is going to be next time I see you. You can layer the same color 2 times. So if I wasn't sure if I got an area well enough, I can go over it with the same color. But I don't want to layer different colors for this lesson. Now I'm ready to apply paint on top. I'm going to take a brush in black paint and I'm going to put it on top of this whole piece. I want to move fairly quickly with this. Usually in art, we really want to take our time. Today, I want you to work fast enough so that your paint won't dry on you. That means it's okay if it takes you 5 or 10 minutes to get to this point. But you don't want to paint just half of your paper in the entire class. You really want to get your whole paper done, and then we're going to do some scraping to reveal the lines we made last class. Making sure everything is covered. If I get it on the table, it's not the end of the world. I can wipe that off when I'm finished. Making sure the corners are covered. Now I'm going to follow the learning guide for that toucan, and I'm going to draw my own bird on here. I'm not using a pencil. I'm using a tool that looks a lot like a pencil, but it's made for scraping. So I'm going to start with this original line, which is almost like a spiral that doesn't continue in. As I'm using this, I'm wiping it off in between strokes. If you don't do that, the paint will build up. I want this line to be a nice thick line. So I'm kind of coloring that line to make it thicker. You can see that you're able to see those colors underneath. As I was doing this, I noticed that the purple didn't show up all that well. So if I were you, I might not use purple. I'm adding the beak, and then I'm starting with the body. And again, I'm not just making one line. To make it thick like that, I'm making multiples. If you make a mistake, you can just cover it back up with black paint and keep working. You want to make sure that you don't have a thick layer of black though. You just want a really thin layer of black paint. I'm going to make his tail feathers here. The areas that I don't want to have so much attention or emphasis, I can do just one line. Areas that I really want to show up, I'm kind of coloring that line as you can see here. It's not just one sweep. There's the outline of his wing. There are lots of different kinds of eyes. I think I'm going to make a closed eye. I'm going to make the feathers that come off his head, and I'm going to fill those in. I think I want those to be really bright, so I'm coloring in to reveal my pastel. This is called a subtractive way of working. I'm taking away paint. His feet. I'm going to make him a branch to sit on. Now I'm going to make different types of lines and patterns and texture to give my work more interest. You have a learning guide that has a lot of different examples of lines you can have, but the more you add during this step, the more color and vibrancy your artwork is going to have. So I'm using these kind of sketchy lines. That's called hatching. It's a way to get value if you do it in pencil, but in this case, it's a way to add texture. Now I'm doing kind of a bumpy, wavy line. The closer together my lines are, the brighter it is, the less black that will be there. I'm going to make little X's, and I want them to be really close together so I get a lot of bright color here through the paint. I'm going to even color in the end of his beak. Can make some designs on his feathers. Again, the more lines and designs you make, the brighter your artwork is going to be. I think I'll make some vines that are sort of hanging behind my bird like he's in the jungle with some leaves on it. Again, more lines are better. I'll get more color the more I do. I think I'm going to give those vines a little bit of texture. Maybe make some leaves around the bird. And you can see that where I really colored thick with that pastel, it's showing through nice and bright against the black. So have fun with this. If you make a mistake, you can always paint right back over top of it and redo as long as you make a nice thin layer. I can't wait to see the artwork you come up with.